Hey guys, hey, welcome. Whoops, let me get myself in focus here. Dave, talk for a second.
How's everybody doing? Are we doing all right after the unfortunate events of Sunday? Life goes on. We've had a great season. We've had a great couple seasons.
Welcome to Buck AF. Are you still Buck AF? Are you still Buck as you know? We are. We're here. Go Bucks. We're ready. We're ready. Look, all right, that stung, that hurt, but new seasons, are coming around the corner. Lots of changes. Who knows what's about to happen? We'll get into all of that. Who dat have no coach? And
Shame.
there's all kinds of things we've got going on, guys. There is a ton. So let's talk about this year. Let's get it out. Let's get it over with. Everybody who wants to chit chat and talk about it and get it off your get it off your chest. Let's do that. But anyway, here we go. We are for some reason not connected on Facebook. It says we're having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue on Facebook's end. Sorry, this is nothing to do with us. So this is not on Facebook tonight. So it's this is for the YouTube folk and the Twitter folk. Sorry, not much I can do about it. Going straight live is fine, but for some reason we can't connect. So I don't know.
It's a shame when you can't connect, especially like on a critical defensive play at the end of a big game.
well, the Rams had no problems connecting. Did they? Dave, what they didn't have any problem connecting right there at that critical moment. Do you have any thoughts? I mean, how frustrated are you about the way that it went down? I mean,
the more I thought about it, I actually became less frustrated because the Rams outplayed the Bucs. There was turnovers, there was some craziness that kind of goes along with the Rams, but let's face it, at least from my perspective, the Rams were the better team and they move on. So when I looked at it from that perspective, I was like, the Bucs were fortunate to even have a shot at the end, quite frankly.
Yeah, I agree. The Bucs got their butt kicked. Okay.
Yes,
and they still managed to come back and tie it, which was amazing. And honestly, if the game was a few minutes longer, they probably would have won, or 41 seconds shorter, they would have won. 42 seconds, whatever it was. But I mean, all right, here we are. We didn't make it. We didn't make it this year. Expectations were high, and we didn't quite get there. Last year, expectations were not quite as high, and we got it done. All the chatter and all the whatever on the streets is all about is Tom Brady retiring. Lots of people are saying, I think he might retire. I think he might think. Everybody's got different opinions about this. We're going to talk about that.
Well, if he does retire,
we are going to talk about Brady. We're going to talk about Fournette. We're going to talk about Chris Godwin. We're going to talk about Bruce Arians and the coaching staff. We're going to talk about the year that was and what to look ahead to. And the Bucs are, I believe, are drafting 27th this year. So we're going to get into all of that. Overall, let's just touch briefly on this game because I feel like it's been beat to death. Here's the deal, guys. We got outplayed, showed a lot of heart. Despite being honestly outmatched, despite all of that, here we are. I mean, despite being outmatched, the Buccaneers tied the game with 42 seconds left. They were that close to it being the best game, I think, in Bucs history, the best comeback for sure, something we'd have been talking about for decades.
24 unanswered points.
Yeah. Until
the field goal.
Instead, year in review. So it's hard. Seasons ends are hard. They're abrupt. It feels very abrupt. I think a lot of people thought, I remember all the talk about going undefeated. I remember, there was so much of that. And listen to like Rocket Man, who's saying, I hate Sean Murphy bunting. Dude always chokes no matter what game. He didn't choke, man. There was miscommunication on that last play. Okay. It was miscommunication, period. End. That's all.
It was a zero blitz, and you rolled the dice, and Levante David didn't blitz. So,
and it wasn't only Levante David. Several players didn't get the call. There was miscommunication and confusion, and you what you get.
And the Rams made the play. Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford are pretty good guys when it comes to connecting on passes.
Guys, what's the saying that Bruce Arians says? What was the catchphrase last year? No risk it, no biscuit. And now everybody bitching and whining and moaning that they risked it. And last year it was all about no risk it, no biscuit. Everybody loved the concept last year. Now
they'd love the concept on this play if Sue had gotten there a little bit earlier and knocked the ball away. Then they're a hero, or if he sacked them.
Yeah.
Oh, the zero blitz, what a great call.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. It was a fraction of a second, the difference between what we've been hearing versus, wow, what a great call. He fumbles the ball, the Bucs recover, they kick a field goal. Well, hey, that could happen, but it did.
You're very, very right, Dave. It is. It's that simple. It's the differences like that. And I think you and I feel the same way. Look, guys, honestly, right before the game, I texted Dave and I said, I got a bad feeling about this game, because when Wirfs was out and we knew that, and we're going up against this line, and everybody wants to blame. Rocket Man's out here trying to blame Sean Murphy bunting. Or the Saints. He's trying to blame the Saints. Rocket Man goes to blame.
We took out their quarterback on a penalty. We got a penalty.
What's that?
We took out Jameis Winston on a penalty that was called against us.
And instead of blame, how about we just give credit to the Rams? They owned us. Nothing more needs to be said, guys. I brought it up earlier. When you bring back the same 22 players, that means you didn't get better. That means you stayed the same. And you can't just stay the same. You can't. Look, I had high expectations. I said 13-4. Dave, I think, said 14-3. We were right there.
I said 12-5.
Yeah, we were right there.
Yeah.
We both were basically right on that. And we get a lot wrong. I do. Me
too.
I thought,
sometimes I make it a habit.
I thought Matthew Stafford was probably going to choke against our defense, but instead that offensive line held up against our defensive players.
And they had one of their starters out on their offensive line as well.
That is correct. So at some point, instead of blame, why don't we look at it and just let's be realistic and say, wow, you get to this point in the season and you're playing a really good team and they beat us. So props to the Rams. Congratulations to the Rams. I will tell you, I hope whoever goes from the NFC, whether it's the Rams or not, whoever goes from the NFC, I hope wins this thing.
Go Bengals.
Yeah, whatever. I worked for the organization. I'm not a fan.
I got family with used to have season tickets for decades.
Yeah, okay.
I've been to Bengal games. I enjoyed them.
Okay, like I said, I've worked for the Bengals, and yeah, whatever. I'm not a fan. Someday we'll talk about those stories. The point of the matter is that game's over. The season is over. And honestly, it wasn't a bad season. No matter what you guys think, it wasn't a bad season.
13 wins never happened before.
Right. We had the best record we've ever had, despite a lot of injuries, guys. A lot of injuries. Our defense was decimated with injuries all year. They finally get together in that last game when we lost. Well, they hadn't been playing together all year. So, yeah, big surprise. They didn't play quite as good as maybe they could.
Well, I was extreme, and I expressed that on the shows before.
I have no idea what you're just saying. Try it in English now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
When Tristan Wirfs got hurt or was in a walking boot, I'm like, this is the biggest injury we've had all year, in my opinion. I thought he's your best offensive lineman. You've got to protect Brady. That's the way the offense is set for him to have time and to pick people out. And you're going up against a ferocious Rams defense. So as soon as Wirfs, when I heard he wasn't playing, I'm like, oh, this ain't good.
Yeah.
So that, to me, that was the biggest factor.
Agreed.
Going into the game.
Agreed. Now let's put that game behind us, and let's talk about the year as a whole. The year as a whole, guys, expectations, I think, is the story of this year. I really think expectations is the story of the year. Expectations, and I honestly think some meltdowns within the team. I think Rojo and AB both had some kind of was it you, Dave? Were you talking to me about that and said about him, AB, doing his divide the locker room thing? Was that you?
That wasn't me. We talked a bunch about AB.
I talked to somebody.
There's a lot of material there, but
I talked to somebody this week who said AB did his usual thing where he tries to divide the locker room, and it seems like the only guy that went along with him was maybe Rojo. And that was the end of Rojo in Tampa.
Hey, clothing lines are important. What's
that?
Clothing lines are important.
Well, not the palace. Apparently, so are bad rap songs. And I can tell it's bad, and that tells you something.
Hey, you can't prove that.
You are correct. So I don't know, guys. I mean, I say this season was was this season a disappointment? This season had a lot of obstacles and pitfalls. That's the team did face a lot of obstacles. A lot of things went wrong this year. And when that happens, it's hard. I mean, you need to be in a position where
you're the target.
Well, yeah. And you need to be if you're going to try and repeat, everything's got to go well. That was not a description of this year. Everything did not go well. So, onward. We go to the season is over. I'm more disappointed, I think, in the way that Bucs fans handled this year, a year where we went 13-4, our best record ever. And if you watched any Bucs groups online or anything, you would have thought the team sucked. That's disappointing to me. I mean,
I got a positive for you. I'm seeing Facebook comments come up, so hopefully we're linked.
Yeah, we're back on Facebook.
All right,
we are back on Facebook. Yeah, we had a little problem connecting earlier, but yeah, we got that back together. But let's look ahead. Let's look ahead because this season's done, and I'm tired of the whining about this year. I am really tired of the whining about this season. You know what? We didn't win the Super Bowl. Are you a fan or are you not a fan? Just be a fan of your team. Look, we got Brian Pearson here, who's a Saints fan. We'll get to you, Brian.
Looking for a coach, are you?
So we got Brian Pearson here. And Brian's a diehard Saints fan, always positive about the Saints. He's got a great attitude about the Saints. And in the meantime, we're walking away with the division, and Bucs fans are crying like little babies. So I don't even want to talk about this year anymore. This year's over. All you whiny little brat Bucs fans, it's over. Okay? Let's look ahead. This should be your comfort zone. We lost. Okay? To those of you who are always relishing in the negative, we lost. Go ahead and soak it all up. You got stuff to complain about, okay? But as far as I'm concerned, not here. You want to complain about the last game? Yeah, I'll take a little bit of it, but not a lot because the game's over. The season is over. It's time to look ahead. Look, there are a lot of teams without head coaches. I can't even remember how many. I think it's 9 or something like that.
Oh, I was going to say 8, but I mean,
yeah, I think it's 9.
I haven't checked
today,
so you never know.
Well, I may be wrong. I mean, I think as of today it's 9, but
okay, it's up there.
It's
approaching double digits.
Right, it's a lot. Okay, a lot of teams have no head coaches. So let's be realistic. There is a good shot the Bucs are going to lose at least one coordinator. I still think that that Byron's going to Jacksonville. Now it's just a matter of whether we lose Lovey or we don't lose Lovey. So here's the thing. I think when it comes to Tom Brady, and let's get into the hoopla. Is Brady coming back? Is Brady not coming back? Look, I think right now, all things be it equal, everybody listen to me. I think all things be it equal. I think Brady's coming back. All things be it equal. Now, what happens when it's not equal? Here's my point. What players are we going to lose? What's going to happen over the next, the next weeks, months? What's going to happen? I think that's going to determine. I think Tom Brady is talking to Leonard Fournette. I think Tom Brady is talking to Chris Godwin. I think everybody's, I think Brady is seeing what page everybody's on, seeing whether or not these guys are committed and want to come back and really want to win together, or whether this is a, okay, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. Time to move on. Bruce Arians says the Bucs are not going to rebuild. They're going to reload, that the culture is built. That's the most exciting freaking part of all of this, guys, is that the culture is different now in Tampa. This team is not okay with losing. If you've been around here long, that's new.
It's been encouraged.
Yes, that's new. Okay, we've got new when it comes to all of the mentality. We've got to look. If Brady doesn't come back, if Fournette doesn't come back, if Godwin doesn't come back, that's a gigantic hill to climb. And you know what? I'll put that challenge in the hands of Bruce Arians and Jason Light any day. If there's going to be a team that's going to do it, that's going to have the passion and going to have the hunger to do it, it's those guys. And if Brady says, all right, I'm going to walk away, Jason Light and Bruce Arians, I promise you phone calls are already being made.
Well, if Tom Brady doesn't come back, this should be 2 words that come out of Bucs fans' mouths immediately.
Please don't say it.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom Brady, for coming to Tampa.
Sir.
And thank you for being a part of our organization and for being instrumental in changing the culture and showing what a true leader is.
Absolutely.
It should be, thank you.
Absolutely. I will be disappointed if he does not come back. I will be disappointed if I don't ever get to see him wearing that creamsicle orange. But I've been disappointed before, and I'm going to love my team anyway, and we'll see what happens. And we're not going to be what we used to be, guys. That's the beautiful part of all of it. That's the beautiful part of all of it. Do this. Let's do this, Dave. Let's welcome in somebody else here who's here to join us. It's
who might it be?
One of the hosts of Buck Wild on Saturday nights.
Matt from OKC.
The only Matt from OKC. How you doing, brother?
How are things on the Oklahoman Plain, if I'm pronouncing that right or putting that out there correctly?
This is the plains, but there are desert. I sent you a little essay.
Yeah,
you did. Thank you for that.
I wanted you to know that.
The desert plain? I'm just trying to get it right.
That part right there is the top of the panhandle of Texas. And if you go 10 miles south of that park, you're in methane land till you get there to New Mexico. It's just pigs. That's all it is. Anyway, didn't need to know that, did you? So we're getting a warm front here in Oklahoma. Tomorrow's going to be 45, and we're looking forward to that. Going to get the tan and oil out. I'm over the weekend already. I'm looking, down the road.
Forward.
And
it's the right attitude.
Say it. If Brady doesn't stick around, we need to call that guy from Cheese Country and see if he wants to get a tan. You don't want him here, maybe not. We didn't want AB either, but he gave us a year and a half, right?
Yep.
So
he gave us something. That's for
Listen,
sure.
I am not a fan. Everybody that knows me knows I am absolutely not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers runs out of the tunnel in a Bucs uniform, God, I love that guy.
Yep.
So
it would be a surreal experience.
That's what'd you say, Dave?
That would be totally surreal.
That's how it is.
Isn't that what happened when Brady got announced? Everybody hates New England, right?
Well,
we hated him.
To me,
and
it would
all
be
of a sudden he was our guy.
When Favre went trotting out in a Viking uniform, that was completely surreal. I mean, that was just beyond. And it would be the same thing if Rodgers came to Tampa.
Rodgers is, Green Bay's not like our mortal enemy.
I grew up with the black and blue division, and
but that was a long freaking time ago, dude. None of these players were around during that.
I understand that, but I'm still here and I'm still kicking. So, and I remember.
And they still fill the stadium. It doesn't matter. We're not in the division anymore. The Green Bay people are there. When
they're an annoyance. That's a little annoyance. That's all Green Bay is to me. I hate the Rams. I hate Philadelphia. I respect them, But to me, guys, what's funny is I think the teams that as a Bucs fan I hate the most, in no particular order, the Falcons. I lived there. I have reasons to hate them. So there's the Falcons, the Rams, the Washington Admirals, whatever they're called.
Hey, you can't say that yet.
The Washington football team. And
I like that.
What's that?
Leave it to Washington football team.
I agree, as long as nobody else does it. And and the Saints, and then Philly after all that. So, but Philly used to be like a rival, but they've kind of become a
nuisance.
They've become our whipping boy. We used to be theirs. Now they've become ours.
It's not a rivalry when one team wins all the time.
Now, one of the teams that I just mentioned, and let's go ahead and get into this. Everybody gather around. Sean Payton is no longer the coach of the New Orleans Saints. Can I get a hallelujah?
As the Saints disintegrate into irrelevancy.
Woo! Yep, they're going to be
this is the first big step.
They got no quarterback. That's why he left. He's not going to make Winston work. He can't use a tight end as a QB.
Yeah.
And there's no money to go out and buy one. So
well,
he knew it was time to get out of
there's
town.
$74 million over the cap. I mean,
right.
All I can say is
you got to be really good if you've done that.
Now when they say who dat, it's more. It's kind of going to be like who dat.
Yeah, it'll be a puzzling
who so many players.
Yeah, that's an ugly mess up there.
It'll be a puzzling who dat.
Yeah,
I mean, in this, Jameis Winston's shot at not being an embarrassment and having a coach that can handle him just went down the tubes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and now
Jameis will now go somewhere else. Yeah, Jameis will be a quarterback somewhere else. Now I think he's done in New Orleans.
USFL, there's some big news coming out of there. Maybe
don't be shocked, buddy. Do not be shocked if you don't see him and Manziel and some of those other, he
could come back and pay for the Bandits.
Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah, I don't think he'll come back and be playing for Tampa.
That would.
They're playing all their games in Birmingham at either Legion Field or where UAB plays.
That's close to home for him, so
it doesn't really matter the first year anyway.
Yeah,
but that new wife of his has got a standard of living that she likes from the NFL, not the USFL.
Who's that?
The wife is going to be wanting NFL
Jameis's
kind of money.
Wife.
Yeah.
Well, she's
got a mother.
Listen,
he's got a baby.
He's going to get paid at least as much as he did this year. He got paid the veteran minimum. He made like $1 million to play this year. they'll pay him that in the USFL.
I don't know how they're structured, but yeah, I don't see him coming to Tampa.
No,
I don't see Johnny Manziel coming unless Budweiser's still in town and he can get himself a little bit of a side job on that deal.
Here's a broadcasting note for that for the USFL. They're going to have NBC and Fox simultaneously broadcast, which is the first time that's happened. Two networks teaming up since Super Bowl I.
To watch one game?
Well, I think it's a different broadcast.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Well, no, I mean it'll be simultaneous broadcasts on both networks.
Oh,
wow. Well, that means they're doing everything they can to make sure this thing gets out there. That's what they're doing. It's just we'll pay for it now to reap the rewards later. By the way, Alec, thank you for your compliment. Alex says, I love my Bucs family and Rick and Dave. You guys are the best.
Oh,
I appreciate that, Alec. And Alec, hang around because there's a little bit of news coming up here before the end of the show where we're going to talk about what's coming, how we're going to handle Buck AF during the off season. So we'll talk about that and give you guys a little bit of insight into what the plans are.
Thank you for your kind words. We really do appreciate that.
Absolutely. You guys are the best.
You guys do a good job over here. You're standard bearers kind of for the
I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
a lot of effort. A lot of effort.
Had no prep for a game this week. There was no preview, so I was kind of bummed. I'm like, there's nothing.
Yeah, Dave was like, "What do we preview?" And I'm like, "The off season
game to preview." I mean,
well, you got to season. You got to play the playoffs in the Super Bowl. You got to cover, don't you?
So I mean, let's go around.
Yeah,
no.
No,
Matt, is Brady coming back?
This is Bucs. This is a Bucs report.
Well, it's
not the NFL report.
Let me ask you a Bucs question. Since I saw a little blurb floating around Messenger earlier, Todd Bowles would be a great fit in Oakland or Vegas with the Raiders.
Why do you think
there's any? Why? Because they are notoriously a defensively minded organization.
Not now.
He could fix that real quick.
Yeah, I don't see him going there. He might.
I don't want him.
He interviewed.
I want to go on record as saying I hope he replaces Arians in time. And he doesn't
I hope so too.
But he, whatever that little Twitter drop was talking about the chances he was interviewing with the Raiders. If he's interviewing with the Raiders, I just think that's a great fit. He can make that team work, and they've got the ownership that'll let him get as crazy as he wants to. He can even bring back Bounty Gate.
Keep in mind now, New Orleans. Who's going to coach New Orleans? I mean, that's interesting. You know, all I can say, I do have one thing to say about Sean Payton.
You're done. Get the F out of here.
That's all I have to say.
Did you see that thing that Keith put up about he's finally out of that musty old city or whatever it said? That can't be real. He didn't really say that, right? That's
no,
something
I don't
put together.
No, I watched as much of his press conference today as I could handle, and I thought it was never going to end. He was just rambling, and he went on and on. It was one of the longest press conferences. I was like, yeah, I gotta go.
You really do hate the Saints, don't you?
Yeah, my car's in the shop. I've already wasted an hour of my life, and he's still talking. I mean, an hour press conference. I gotta go. You know.
Well, he had to kiss the ring. I mean, they did worship him there in New Orleans, whether we like him or not.
And I gotta say this. I gotta say this about Sean Payton because I think he's an a-hole. But let me say this. I think he's the pro version of. I honestly think he's the pro version of Urban Meyer. Okay, I think
that's a low one.
Yeah, I think he's the guy who. He's like, my head hurts. I gotta go. He never really gave a reason for leaving. Okay, when they asked him why he was leaving, it was just, I think it's just time. It never gave a reason for why he's going.
Say what Aaron Rodgers had already said. I'm not going to be here for the rebuild. That's what it boils down to.
Right, and the thing is, they're over the cap, and Jerry Jones, next year, after one more year of Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones is going to be kissing his feet and offering him a mint to go to Dallas. So he's
Well,
going to
maybe
take
he
a
needs a
year,
year
make a
off
bunch
to-
of money working for some network, and then
Yeah.
go. He'll come back in a year if he feels like it.
Or not.
Or he
Right.
could coach the premier team in the USFL and put
Yeah,
them on the map.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But guys, I mean, I honestly see. I think the Saints they are looking to be the cellar dwellers next year. Okay,
Ooh, you do hate them.
No, it's not a matter of hating them. It's
No,
they're
it's
74
real.
million over the cap.
They're going to have to cut people. They'll be playing the practice squad for starters just to get through next year.
Yeah, it's Taysom Hill is going to be your quarterback without a surrounding cast. I mean, I think you're going to start seeing them trade players that are valuable players to start stocking draft picks and go to full rebuild mode. I think that's what you're going to see.
See, if we lose a player, we could put Cam Jordan on the Bucs if Barrett leaves or something.
If you can't beat him, trade for him.
Beat him.
What is that?
Get him over
it's
here.
just again, I hate Cam Jordan. But if it comes out in the Bucs uniform, I understand that. But until that point, I hate Cam Jordan. So, I mean, it is.
And Aaron Donald, while we're on the subject.
Yeah, well, I don't hate Aaron Donald. You know what? I don't hate Aaron Donald. I respect Aaron Donald. He's not a mouth. He just goes out and performs. So I can respect that. The problem with Cam Jordan is
dirty.
his mouth.
He's a dirty player. I don't like him.
It's his mouth. And I'm just not a fan. So,
it's going to be an interesting off season for us here. What they call it? Advent Health Center used to be $1 place.
$1,
I guess Advent Health
There's going to be changes, and I'm not sure I'm going to like them all.
Yeah, Alex Loosemore says, just something to remember, the Saints still own Peyton's rights until 2024. So if someone wants him, looking at Dallas, they'll have to trade for him.
Even though he retired?
But what I think is going to happen is, again, I think Peyton's going to sit around for a year. I don't think he's going to coach next year. I think he's going to sit around for a year or so. And then the Saints, much like when Gronk was out for a year, you'll take a lot less. Just you might as well get something for him. Get his salary off your books and, okay, you'll give us a 6th round pick. Okay. And, and $1 million. All right, we're in. I mean, that's what I think we're.
Beans.
What's that?
2 packs of Juju beans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got to get those in there. That's the bonus.
Juju beans are serious stuff.
Speaking of Gronkowski,
that could be the bulk of it. That's not the. I love Juju beans. So,
it's a matter of perspective.
Guys, go ahead.
I was just saying, bringing up Gronkowski, there's already the buzz out there that Gronk's going to make his own decision independent of Tom Brady, whether he's coming back or not.
Yeah, I heard that. I think Gronk probably is saying, I wonder what it'd be like to play with Aaron Rodgers or, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if that's not going through his mind.
Or Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
I don't think that's going through his mind. I don't think that's going through his mind, but I do think, I do think he's saying if, and what Arian said, where Arian said he'd be perfectly comfortable going into next season with Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask and Ryan Griffin. And that Blaine Gabbert is the most underrated player in the NFL, blah, blah, blah. He says all of that. And then he says, yeah, but we look behind.
Does he believe it? That's the question.
Now, let me tell you who I think door number 2 will be, everybody. Let me tell you who I think door number 2 will be. If Tom Brady leaves, who I believe will be the next the next quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everybody, don't jump off a ledge. Don't freak out. I think it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater. Okay? Don't jump. But I believe that's the case because I believe that Arians likes Bridgewater, likes his style. Stop thinking you're going to get some mobile Deshaun Watson type of quarterback. That's not Arians' style. He's going to want a drop back pocket passer kind of guy. And remember, if we didn't get Brady last year, the guy they were going for was who?
Bridgewater.
Okay.
That's
they like him. They like him. So He's available.
Man, I really hope Brady comes back. It just sort of puts it in perspective. It's like
he went 6-0 in New Orleans, Dave.
Okay. Brady, I really hope he comes back.
I do too. He's Tom Brady. I mean, he's Tom freaking Brady.
This kind of quarterback talk. Brady, please come back.
No, I agree with you, but look, I don't care who you put out there. It's going to be a drop off. He's the best player of all time. Don't expect the replacement to be as good as him. Okay? Stop those expectations. All right. The one thing I would like more than anything is somebody who burns with a desire to win. I want that.
Hey, I have a related interesting fact.
Okay.
There's been 55, about to be 56 Super Bowls. We can already count the 56 on this item. 0 quarterbacks who have led the league in passing have won the Super Bowl. 0.
Isn't that something? That just tells you the defense
that makes sense because you're on a losing team and have to throw a lot. So,
yeah, Dan Fouts never made it, but they were fun to watch.
That was a hell of a team back in the day.
Really, the thing that surprises me when you say that is that Kurt Warner in The Greatest Show on Turf he did not lead the NFL. That's a surprise to me. I guess because they had Marshall Faulk. But
yeah, when that was it was Faulk till you could stop the run and then pass until you could stop that.
Faulk caught a lot of passes. A lot of passes.
I was just amazed that team only won 1 Super Bowl. I think that was Brady's first Super Bowl win was against the Rams, if I remember correctly.
There's a lot of great quarterbacks who only won 1 Super Bowl.
There's a lot of great quarterbacks. None.
Brett Favre won 1 Super Bowl. Okay. Drew Brees won 1 Super Bowl.
Dan Marino, goose egg.
0.
Goose egg.
Aaron Rodgers, 1 Super Bowl. Okay. I mean, you guys have to. Brad Johnson. I'm kidding. Okay. The thing is, guys, and I think Alec just nailed it with this comment. I will trust the process. And I agree, Alec. Alec, if Bruce Arians says, I want Teddy Bridgewater to be my quarterback, really?
That's the guy.
Come on. Okay. Name the last one he made a poor decision on. Okay. Name the last quarterback that Bruce Arians had that was a bad one. Oh, wait, that was Jameis Winston. But he was only there for a year and he got the boot. Okay. So
he agreed to renew Jameis, which was a bad idea because that was a 30-30 year. Right?
Didn't you? No, he only played with right. The first year. Right. They didn't have
Arians'
Tom Brady as an option, or they didn't have the other options. Right.
They could have not signed him for the 5th year up because he was a rookie contract.
Sure. And then who was going to be your quarterback? It's not like there were a lot of people out
there. And now we got Kyle Trask. That's all we need. That's all we need. It's like the scene from The Jerk. I need this, but this is all I need.
I wanted to address one of the questions. It says, do you think Brady will get the MVP based on performance last Sunday, or is it going to Rodgers? From my understanding is they already voted. You vote after the regular season, and the playoffs don't have an impact on whether or not on voting. So it's irrelevant, and I think it'll be Rodgers based on the buzz I've heard.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That was his consolation prize for having to play in the snow. Get the MVP.
But he's a deep critical thinker, so that kind of balances it all out.
So let me go around the horn here. Let me go around. I'm pardon using that phrase. Matt, is Brady coming back?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, if he doesn't, who's coming? Or who's quarterbacking the team next year?
I don't want Blaine Gabbert to quarterback. I don't think Kyle Trask is ready, so I think we're going to be on the street. And like I said at the beginning, if I'm Jason Light, I'm calling up Aaron Rodgers and offering him all kinds of tanning salons and beautiful things he could build out here and never have to worry about freezing again in 6-degree weather. But Teddy Bridgewater is not a bad idea. I was always high on Bridgewater, and I didn't know if he was available or not. I think Arians could make him work, and he's better than Blaine Gabbert.
Dave, is Brady coming back or not?
Is Brady coming back? No, he's not coming back.
All right. Who's going to quarterback the team next year?
You're hearing crickets because there's not a good answer here.
It doesn't have to be a good answer. What do you think is the actual answer?
I think they might give him a shot. They might give Trask a shot, but gosh, it's just that wouldn't work. I don't. There's not a good answer. I mean, even like a Russell Wilson, if he wanted out of Seattle, it's not Arians type of quarterback. So I don't know if Arians type of quarterback that would be available that would put a smile on my face.
You got to vote down here for Derek Carr in the comments. I think that's a good
Now,
idea.
let me tell you something. If Derek Carr came here, I would be thrilled.
That guy's a lot better than he gets credit for.
Yeah, I would be thrilled with Derek Carr. Yeah.
Whoop.
We lost Dave. Hold on. Let me.
He went dog hunting, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Okay, he's back.
He shot the dog. We're all good now.
No more dog barking. No microphone, Dave.
No more microphone.
Dave, we can't hear a thing you're saying. But you know what? What we should start doing is whatever Dave is saying, we should start putting in the words as his lips are moving.
Now he's faking it. Like he knows he can hear us, but we can't
hear
you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
now, so Dave, you think they're going to go with Trask if Brady?
No, I mean, there's not I don't have an answer for you because there's not a reasonable answer. Something would have to develop that is not obvious.
I think there's plenty of reasonable answers. I think it's reasonable to say, hey, they liked Bridgewater before. He's available. I mean, I'm not saying that's one you're going to like. But... Yeah, well, nothing's going to sound thrilling after Tom Brady.
Well,
I mean, that's like just being Derek, and then you have to sit down and go back to the laundromat and find the next one.
I mean, they're not going to get Deshaun Watson because that's not a.
But he does fit the mold. If you're going to take a shot on
fit the mold.
Well, I mean, from an AB perspective. Are you kidding me?
A mobile quarterback like that does not fit the mold.
No, I meant like AB. Bruce Arians got out there and started spewing that, he's a diva. We'll never take him. And they did. So I'm like, well, go after him. Then Deshaun Watson fits that mold is what I'm saying.
We don't need that.
No, there's just no way. I think Deshaun Watson's going to Miami, I would think.
No, not after Flores is getting fired. That was the attraction for Watson. So
I thought that's why he got fired was he wanted to stick with Tua.
I thought there was a connection between Watson and Flores.
Oh no, I was thinking Watson, or I was thinking Flores wanted Tua and fought for Tua, and that's why you ended up with. That's why they benched Fitzpatrick last year and put Tua in. I think that he was sold on Tua and he was married to Tua, and that was either going to work or not work. And I think the ownership wants Deshaun Watson because it's sexier. It's going to sell tickets. It's exciting. He can keep the massage parlors open. I mean, there's
and Ross, the owner, he was the one that announced the firing of Flores. It wasn't like, somebody that normally would. So he just pokes his nose way too much into the Dolphins business. He needs to act like an owner instead of general manager.
What I think. That's why I think you're going to end up with Deshaun Watson there. I think they'll give up whatever you have to give up.
You don't think Deshaun Watson's going to get attacked by a cat?
What?
I got finger of cat. They just jumped up and grabbed my hand. It was not good. You don't think that I forgot what I was saying.
You have issues.
Deshaun Watson isn't going to be in the league next year. That's my opinion. But don't you think that's more likely to happen than him actually becoming a number one starter on a team?
No, as a matter of fact, for the scuttlebutt is that everything should probably end up settled and not being an issue. That he'll get a little slap.
Really?
Yeah. That's basically he'll end up with a slap and paying some people some money, and that'll be about it. Who knows? By the way, to Matt Ferguson asking about Jimmy G. Look,
no. Bring back Jameis, not Jimmy G. I'll admit it's personal. I don't want him. No.
How much did you lose on him this year?
Open up, Dave. Tell us how you really feel.
No. No, please, no.
I have to agree with Dave. Although Terriana, not sure what you're thinking there. Marcus Mariota.
What,
No.
to be a coach or something?
Yeah, no, no.
Carry a clipboard around? Or-
Please no. Yeah,
He'd be behind Trask at this point, wouldn't he?
I don't
he
know.
would-
I mean, he came in and did
uh,
okay, played a few wildcat plays here and there for the Raiders.
He spent
But-
half the season on IR because of one 30-yard run.
Yeah,
He ran the ball 30 yards and broke himself, and he was
he's not
done for half the year.
Yeah, he's not coming here. Spit the truth, Dave. Yeah, that's Dave's got a fan. No, I think we all agree about Jimmy G. No, that's an emphatic.
If
no.
he wins the
Yeah,
Super Bowl, they'll
I'll
sign
take
him.
Bridgewater. He's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't sound
You
so
put it
bad
that
now,
way.
does it?
Yeah, Bridgewater's okay.
Yeah. Rich said Jordan Love. Jordan Love's not going anywhere.
Jordan Love shouldn't get off the bench.
Yeah,
That guy stinks. He
I don't
just
know if he
stinks.
stinks or not, to be honest with you. I can just say I get the feeling Aaron Rodgers is not going anywhere. I get the feeling Aaron's staying in Green Bay if he's going in. I mean, if anything, if he plays next year, it'll be in Green Bay. I think he said this was the most fun season he's ever had, and that I mean, I think they made him happy this year. They brought in some folks. They did some things that he requested, and I think we saw. Here's Aaron Rodgers' happy face. Okay, I mean, it's
he's
just
busy with deep critical thoughts, and it's in his mind. I'm sure that these thoughts have percolated and have now resulted in him getting with management, and they see the light from his perspective. And I think that's what goes on. It's why he doesn't have a euphoric look to him.
Yeah, the
It's
name
the
that I
man
have
bun.
not heard anybody mention is Russell Wilson. And I don't want Russell Wilson. I don't think it's even he's not an Arians type quarterback.
He'd fit in New Orleans.
Well, you
we
don't know
what
who the
fits
coach
in
is
New
going to be.
Orleans. We don't know what
Well,
fits in New Orleans. we have
If
no
he went
idea.
to
Right
New
now, New
Orleans,
Orleans is
they won't have a line. He can get around. At least they'll win a couple of games. I mean,
yeah. Nobody's
be my
going.
thing.
Nobody worth a hill of beans is going to sign in New Orleans right now. It's not going to happen.
Who are you going to throw to?
Right.
Well, it
I mean, it's
doesn't
not going to
matter.
happen.
he doesn't
Oh,
throw that
Matt
well
Ferguson mentioned him. I didn't see it. Sorry, Matt.
Well, I mentioned it only to say that he's not an Arians type of quarterback. So
Yeah, Russell Wilson's not an Arians type quarterback. Deshaun Watson is not an Arians type quarterback.
Josh Rosen, bring him up.
Rick's favorite, right up there with Josh Freeman.
I'd rather have Jimmy G. At this point, I would rather have Jimmy G than Josh Rosen.
Gosh, oh man,
What does that tell you?
I guess Jimmy G's my Josh Rosen. I don't.
Yeah, the Saints are literally going to be playing like guys that the USFL turned down. I mean, the Saints are just going to be a disaster this year. The next few years, I think the Saints are in massive trouble.
Yeah, they've got a 5-year window here where they're going to take off the whistle heads and put on the brown bags again.
Yep.
That's what we're going to see.
Well, I mean, you've just explained why Sean Payton's stepping away, but he wasn't going to come out and say it.
Right. No, I
Anybody
agree.
who has
That's
a brain
why.
can see what's going on. I mean, if he's got no money to work with and he's got no talent on the bench, he tried. I got to give the guy credit. He took a chicken and turned it into chicken salad.
Listen,
And
he's a great coach that I hate. I don't deny that he's a great coach. Yeah, I don't deny that he's a great coach. I just hate the guy. I think I just think he's dirty. I think he's trash. He is, like I said, I see him as the Urban Meyer of the pros. I just really do. I think he's just a dirtbag. And bye. I don't miss you.
How do you really feel?
I'm saying, man. therapy session here. You got on.
Yeah,
I just hate him. I hate him.
I do. I hate him. That dirt bag. Oh man, Sean Payton.
You're done. Get the F out of here.
So I mean that is my genuine, honest feeling. So,
This has been fun. I actually forgot for a few minutes that we lost on Sunday.
Yeah. Listen, AB. Somebody said y'all need to talk about AB's post after the Bucs lost. What a trash person he is. There's no reason, Castillo, to talk about it because he's trash. We all know it. It's kind of obvious. Now he wants to go to Baltimore, and I'm sure they'll sign him. Best of
He'll
luck
fit
to
right
you.
in. John Harbaugh, he's a very easygoing, laid back guy.
Best of luck to you.
Player.
He's got a lot of experience with crazy people with his brother
Yep.
in the family. I mean, that guy in Michigan is just a fruitcake. And so Baltimore would be a natural fit. He'd have AB with no trouble.
Yeah, I will see what happens. I think everybody's going to have trouble with AB eventually. You might get a year out of him. We were lucky. We got a year.
But wait, for business to be booming next season, I thought he had to have surgery. And if you're going to have surgery, you want it sooner than later, don't you? Because you want to be ready to go.
Yeah, what happened? What happened with that
Yeah.
ankle? He's out there dancing. He's out there doing all that stuff.
Hey, now
Bucs said,
dancing's not the same as cutting against NFL quality cornerbacks.
Yeah, he talked all about that MRI he had, and the Bucs said, "Okay, let's see it." And you never heard a word. Crickets.
It's like, go to our doctors. We want to help.
AB in the meantime is Googling. He's Googling sample torn ligament ankle on Google. He's MRI, and he's going to come in with an MRI. Look, see, and it's got sample written across it or something.
Watermark. He didn't know how to get the watermark out. He couldn't Photoshop it.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, AB's listen, somebody's going to get a really talented receiver for a little bit. And that
or not.
Or he'll
Raiders didn't.
Right, or he'll implode. Yeah.
Before the first game. That's if he does get back in the NFL, that just says volumes about the mentality of the league to me. I don't think he should even get a chance.
Yeah, here's the thing. He chose the one team that his cousin or something is on that team, and he's buddies with their quarterback. So if they say we'll throw the league minimum at you, okay. Listen, if AB had just done this somewhere else, I would not be wanting him on the Bucs, but I wanted him, even with his previous transgressions. I wanted to give it a shot. Everybody says, see, I told you.
For us? Did he cost us the Super Bowl or a chance at the Super Bowl?
I wouldn't look at it. You'll drive yourself nuts looking at it that way. Look at it this way. We got a Super Bowl with Antonio Brown. The Raiders didn't get a single down. The New England Patriots got one game out of him. We're the big winners here. The AB train's going to derail. It did. At least we got something out of it. Move on.
Yep. If you've ever been to Baltimore, all I can say is if he's from the pit, not the palace, back to the pit. Wow.
Careful what
you wanted
wish
that
for.
bad, buddy. There you go.
ABXFL, somebody put on here.
Yeah, he already said he wouldn't do that.
Wow. Sometimes the best choice you have is not what you want.
Yeah.
I doubt he could play in Canada. I just the guy's poison. He's bad for the league, bad image, bad everything.
I don't know if he's bad for the league because they got a lot of mileage out of him walking off the field and doing that. There were a lot of clicks. There were a lot of follows, a lot of arguments, a lot of discussions. There was a lot that went on. Look, did we get hurt? Maybe. But, again, guys, no risk it, no biscuit. But when no risk it doesn't mean you always get the biscuit. It means sometimes you risked it, and this is what happens. So when you got no risk it, no biscuit, this is the flip side, guys. Last year we got a biscuit. This year, no biscuit this year. But
we won the division and won 13 games of franchise record.
Right.
And you know what? We're spoiled now in Tampa. And if God help us, but if Brady doesn't show up next year, if he finally decides he wants to coach his kids and Todd Bowles ends up somewhere else and all the things that they're talking about right now happen, are we going to go into next season thinking we're good for 13 games or are we going to be disappointed if we only get 9? I mean, I
think that's realistic, is to say that we'll be around 9
to 10, which
depending on who the quarterback is. 9.
Bucs land doesn't believe in that now. We've been Bradyized, and that's something that to watch what's going to happen to the fan base and to the talk shows and all of that stuff.
Is it really going to be worse than this year? I mean, there was so much bitching.
Oh no, this year we got hit with everything that couldn't happen. Right? You like to say, Rick, that the football's oblong and it makes funny bounces and you never know which way it's going to go. And we got lucky last year. You're dead on with that. We didn't have any problems except for Vita Vea in last year, and this year we had every problem we avoided last year happen at the same time.
Yeah, we got this year's problems and last year's problems, all of it this year,
and we damn near won. We had 48 seconds to hold off.
42.
40, whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever. I wasn't meaning to correct you. I'm just saying,
and let the thing run.
Yeah.
And let them do a sneak. But anyway, you look at it, 57 years of watching this damn team. I haven't seen 2 almost Super Bowl teams in a row in my life. We didn't have a real bad drop-off. We didn't get rid of a whole bunch of people. We didn't do what John Gruden did, try to orchestrate the whole locker room. We're actually, like you said, on a winning track now, and the groundwork is in there, and the young people have been indoctrinated in what it takes to be a professional by the veterans that we're going to lose a couple of. I don't know which ones it's going to be, but we're not going to get 22 back this year.
I think Sue's going to be gone.
Well, I think he's owed the right to leave, and they should enshrine the 93 that he wears, not that other guy. That's just how I look at it. You know?
Agreed. Please, no Gerald McCoy. Please put number 93 up there. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. By the way, please tell me you're not talking about Cam Newton, Rich. Please tell me you're not talking about Cam Newton.
Oh my Lord.
Oh man.
Cam Newton.
I live in Charlotte.
Oh gosh, I would almost take. I'd take Jimmy G over Cam. It's really bizarre to me how, and it happens. The guy that always sticks in my mind is Sean Alexander. He was league MVP, was the best running back by far in the league at Seattle, and on the cover of Madden. And 2 years later, he was out of the league.
Listen, I would take Winston back over.
Oh, now that's just crazy talk.
over Cam.
We've devolved into crazy talk now.
I would take Winston over Cam. You wouldn't?
Yeah, I would.
I don't want to go here, man. This is just not healthy. This is just not a healthy course of conversation. Let's get Bridgewater. He sounds great.
Yeah, see? Now my idea doesn't
before,
sound so bad.
Let's go. Let's bring Teddy to Tampa. There you go. Put that on a T-shirt or something.
Yeah.
With 153 coaches and Bruce Arians driving the wheel, I think Bridgewater would be a hell of a coach.
I agree with you.
He did very well in New Orleans when they gave him the right plays.
6-0. Didn't lose a game.
And then he left there and he went to Carolina. He really didn't get a chance to do anything in Carolina.
Nobody does.
No, and they for them signing back Cam Newton to Carolina, I don't understand what they were doing. Other
it was
than
a ticket. It was a ticket sales maneuver.
It was a PR move. I mean,
and it blew up in
Cam
their
has
face.
nothing left.
Yeah,
but they sold a lot of tickets. They made some money, and then it blew up, and you were back to a crappy team. So you literally had a crappy team that wasn't selling tickets. For about 3 or 4 weeks, you sold a whole bunch of tickets, and then you went back to being a crappy team.
They were selling nostalgia. It's like, remember when he was MVP and we went to a Super Bowl and blah, blah, blah. And
even on his first game, he got that one touchdown. He acted like he'd won the Super Bowl for the people in Carolina, and he's doing Superman crap.
Yeah.
And by the end of the game, they got the L. So
Yeah.
there you go. That's the story right there.
So let me ask you guys this. Who tell me who has to come back for this team to have a chance? Matt, you start.
Well, not saying Brady because that's kind of the obvious. I'd like to see Fournette and somebody to complement Mike Evans. That's the way I see it. If you get a running game, which we've got, we can make the passing game work with just about anybody. Bridgewater can throw to those two guys.
Okay,
But
Dave.
On offense, Tristan Wirfs. On defense, Levante
Well,
David.
Wirfs isn't going anywhere. He's under contract.
No, you were saying coming back. I'm not.
No,
I'm
I'm
just
saying who has
the
to
most-
come back. Like, who do they have to re-sign?
Well,
Good talk.
I misunderstood your question. I was saying I was going.
That
Who's the
silence
most
makes
important?
great radio, Dave.
Who's the most important people on each side of the ball is what I was thinking.
Well,
and I thought,
no. Who do you have to bring back? Who is it that you have to re-sign out of the free agents that are most important? I will tell you.
Chris Godwin.
Yeah, Chris Godwin and Leonard Fournette sell the farm to get those guys back. Do whatever you have to do to get those two back.
Leonard had injury problems. Once he's gotten his injury problems resolved, he's a top flight back.
Okay, so now this is interesting. I want to talk about Rob Gronkowski. Now, is Gronk minus Brady a must-have, or is Gronk magic because of Brady, or in combination with Brady?
Yep. I think that Brady and Gronk have been together for 10 years or something like that. So the chemistry's there. They know which way each other's thinking, and you wouldn't get that kind of result on either side of the ball or either side of the equation, whether it's Brady or Gronk, won't work as well if they're separated or not.
Gronk already has intimated he's going to play again next year. All right, he put out a tweet or a Instagram or whatever the heck it was. Saying,
if we're seriously talking about Teddy Bridgewater, I think that would be a perfect quarterback for Gronkowski, and ignoring his ignoring his receiving acumen, Gronk can block. So
Dave, you're taking exactly where I was going. You're dead on.
My thought would be you want Gronkowski back. He's a Hall of Fame tight end with or without Tom Brady. Sure, he's better with Tom Brady, but throw in a Bridgewater, a guy who can hit the seams and throw is very accurate on the short passes through the seams and cutting up the defense. Keep Gronk. You want him. You definitely want him.
I agree with you that his blocking capabilities are far more important. You know, I really think so. In this offensive line, you guys don't forget, this is a really good line to somebody who's going to get rid of the ball quick. Let's see who gets rid of the ball quick. Teddy Bridgewater.
And also, I mean, Gronkowski, everybody, yes, Tom Brady is a consummate leader. He is a unicorn. He's on his own island. He's fantastic. Yeah. He's everything you would ever dream of and more. Gronkowski's a great leader, and he's also a great locker room guy and presence as well.
I agree. But my honest belief, having gone down this little journey as we talked about, what if, my honest belief, guys, is Brady's coming back for one more run at it. I think you're going to see him get into the locker room and talk to his guys that he loves that are on this team. I think you're going to end up with him saying to him basically going to the people, the Ronald Jones, the whatevers, the people that weren't Brady's guys. And you could tell Brady didn't really trust Rojo. He didn't want to throw the ball to him when he was in the game. Giovanni Bernard, he was throwing it to him all day long. Lenny, throwing it to him all day long. I think you're going to get one more run at it. I think Brady's going to talk to these folks and say, one more time.
Isn't that all he's got right now? He was signed for 2 years plus one.
Yep.
So here's why I said I don't think he's coming back, because it has nothing to do with contracts. It has nothing to do with football. It has nothing to do with championships. I think it has to do with his family. And I just have this sense that, and it's no more than just a sense, that it's going to be a heart decision. It's not going to be a football decision. And I think that his oldest is 15, and those times slip by really quick. And I just think
he spends
that
half a year with him. Okay. This narrative to me drives me nuts. Okay. This narrative drives me nuts, Dave, is this whole, and I've gotten into arguments with Ray about this previously, this whole mentality of, oh, Brady's poor kids.
No, it's not poor kids. No, it's just,
travel the world with him in the off season. Okay, you see pictures of him, of them all together.
No, but if he's getting to an age where he's going to be playing high school football, no, Tom will not be involved with him and his play very much. And if he wants to do that, I could see him. And let's face it, he's been in a very grueling line of work for a long time. I mean, at some point, you just want to shut it down and be with your family.
Yeah,
and
but do you really think Brady wants to shut it down? No, Brady himself said, even losing, I'd rather be on the football field.
Like I said, this is not a football decision, though. It's not a football. It's not a contract. It's not another ring. It wouldn't be that type of decision anyway.
Yeah, if the discussion becomes, I really want you to step away, fine. But I think if Brady goes, and this is what I honestly think is going to happen, I think Brady's going to go and say, okay, look, this is it. One more shot. This is my final year. He's going to do the tour. He's going to market the living crap out of his brand during the last year. I mean, I just really see this coming. Uh-oh. You mentioned him. It's like Candyman. It's like Josh Rosen. You mentioned him a couple of times, and look who comes up.
Oh, my God.
Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, fellas. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
A great cup of Ray on a Tuesday. Couldn't be better.
A little shot of Ray.
There you go.
So, and here's the thing, people said, well, Brady said he doesn't want one of these, last victory laps. Well, it's not like basketball where, when Michael Jordan or when Kobe Bryant, rest his soul, was retiring, and every away game he was getting a Harley Davidson, or they were having like a key to the city deal. The NFL doesn't work like that, and I honestly believe, Rick, that at the end of the day, Brady knows one thing, that the Buccaneers, Bruce Arians, Jason Light, they're going to do everything in their power to give him the best opportunity to succeed. I think that from that standpoint alone, he's got to go that one extra year. I think that the comments he made the other day maybe are starting to set people up for the fact that this might be the last year, but I definitely think he's got to give him a couple of weeks, give him a little time, let him go to Cabo, let him get a little time in. But, I really think that he's got to come back for one more, even just because he knows that this team is still a lot of free agents, but it's still a pretty talented, locked and loaded team, and the NFC South is still ripe for the taking.
Oh, it's
dead.
riper?
Yes.
Riper than it's been what, Matt?
No, it's ripe for the taking. I just, not even with the shot.
No, I know. I said it's riper than it has been. Matt, you said something?
I was saying the same thing. Every other team in the division is rebuilding or trying to. And now we're the only ones. It's almost like the reverse of the AFC East or NFC East, where everybody sucks for one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. I see him coming back and Ray a little bit different. Look, this is Tom Brady. You don't have he's not going to go and get a Harley or a whatever at every stop. But the thing is, he's one last trip. Imagine you guys saw the Ben Roethlisberger game. You saw that whole thing. Imagine that every week and every stadium where, the fans are giving a tip of the hat to Brady, because they will. And I mean, marketing for his new brand, guys, a farewell tour is set. I mean, he's got a free marketing boom if he does it. So do I think they're gonna bring him back? Do I think he's going to be willing to come back? I think he will be willing to come back for one more season.
Did you guys, and y'all, three of us in here, the four of us in here, have you all seen The Man in the Arena on the ESPN Plus? You know,
I've
Tom
watched
Brady.
a little bit of it, not all of it.
Okay, because I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say the very last episode. There's 9 episodes in the season. I won't any spoilers here, but let's just say the last episode completely sets it up for the next series, which would be basically his arrival, or the pandemic, and he goes to New York for the physical and stuff. That wasn't part of the show. I'm just saying that's where I could see the next show setting up. And let's be honest, one more season, the Super Bowl, then to come up short, and one more go at it with a stacked team. I think that one of the most intriguing aspects is, and not to put down the 23 we signed last season to keep the whole gang together, but I think that's even more intriguing with the increased salary cap for next year. If the rest of the league, all these free agents on these other 31 teams, if they know this is Tom's last hurrah, they'll be falling over themselves to come here. They still got to get paid because they have families to feed. Yes.
Exactly.
You know what,
what
though? It seems like the NFL, whenever they have a special thing like the Hurricane Katrina, or somebody's retiring, like Manning was up in, they always win that last Super Bowl. That team always wins the Super Bowl. So if he does come back and he announces, this is my retirement year and this is it, I'm done.
What year did Katrina happen?
2002, I think.
2005, wasn't it?
2000. Wait, maybe.
Yeah,
I think.
5.
Yeah, Dave's
I think
right.
It was 5.
Yeah,
when did they win the Super Bowl?
2009.
The first.
Yeah, they won it 4 years later, Matt.
Nah, there was something.
They
Well,
weren't even in the
year.
Superdome that for I think 1 year or 2 years when Katrina happened.
It was their first year back in the Superdome after
Right.
they played at Tulane for a year or two.
Right.
It was 2005, August.
Right.
Okay, so they got a credit for having the indoor arena reopened and it was blown up, and U2 played and it was a great halftime and they did all of that, but it just seems like when Peyton Manning is totally noodle armed at the point where he won the last Super Bowl, he got carried by the defense, but somehow or another they managed to get to the Super Bowl and win it.
But that's how Brady won last year. The defense won it.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm not talking about last year. I'm just saying it would be something. If Brady says, I'm going to retire, this is my last run, watch, we'll win the Super Bowl and we'll get that last one for him.
I don't know. Really? Because it certainly
Put
didn't
it on
work
your
for Drew
little book.
Brees, did it?
Put it in your book, like my talking about Ray's kicker there, messing us up. Suck up one time. It cost
Didn't work
us
for Drew Brees, did it, Matt? Didn't
What's
work for
that?
Dan Marino, did it? Didn't work for Drew Brees. Didn't work for Dan Marino. Let's name all the other great ones that went out without winning. But I mean, great.
It
So
just seems like
the
it's
greatest
Brady.
of all time wins another Super Bowl, and you're going to go, it's a conspiracy. I mean, it's.
I'm just saying it's Brady. Watch what happens.
Here's the thing, too, guys. NFL Network, SI.com, ESPN.com. They have to sell papers. They have to put eyes on their products. So they're going to tell you the narrative. Well, Tom's already set every record, and Giselle asked him after 55, what else do you have to prove? I get all that. You can make that argument. But the truth of the matter is, and you're the one, Rick, who's told me this, and Johnny Dean, I'll throw some props to him. That's not the way this cat is wired. He got one more year to pad the stats. Bruce Arians, if Tom Brady didn't have any say with personnel, being, as Antonio Brown said, the de facto general manager up till now, Bruce Arians and Jason Light are going to sit in a room with Tom, and they're not going to beg him to come back. They just want him to come back, but they're going to say, Tom, tell us the pieces we need. Do we need to replace Donovan Smith at left tackle? Because Donovan, as good as he's shown up the last couple of years, he did show, the Saints seem to, the Rams, these teams that beat us, it seemed to be that pressure from the left side on that left tackle. Do we need to go out and spend 17, 18, 19 million dollars on a lockdown left tackle? Okay. Do we need to, Chris Godwin's back? For sure. That would happen anyway. But the thing about it is that let's be honest, guys, you look at the schedule next year, it's not a cakewalk. I mean, it's going to be one hell of a schedule. It's going to be one heck of a year, but I think it's only
a first place schedule.
Yes. And I think
unlike this past year.
Right. And I think that Tom Brady, I think that also plays into the fact that he accepts that challenge. He's like, I'm going to go out on top. I'm going to do another year of filming for the Man in the Arena Part 2. I'm going to carry it from the Super Bowl 55 victory up through my final year. The cameras are going to follow me, and the Bucs are going to let them have all access in the locker room like they did basically Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. And I think that, all arrows point to the fact that from a production standpoint, he's going to put something in a can that my kids are going to watch someday. And they're going to go, wow, this guy really was the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And he'll have more Subway ads where he might get more than one line.
Hey, he's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Whoa.
That's right.
Maybe Gronk finally gets that USAA insurance and just pisses off every veteran in the country.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That commercial is finally going to happen. All right. You can have it. Just stop calling.
Yeah. I love it. But I'll tell you what, I want to go ahead and pub a little piece I ran today, and it got really great play, and it was the truth. I really did. I was coming back from the game on Sunday, coming back across to Howard Franklin, and, my wife was taping a game, but she's been busy this entire season, hasn't really watched a lot of football with me, and then, usually we're doing stuff with Bucs Report, and I call her to tell her that Tristan and I are on our way home. We'll be home by halftime. We're going to stop and get a couple of dozen tacos, and the first thing she says to me is, this umpire, Sean Hockley, and I'll say it here, I couldn't say it in the article, he's a dick. And I said, what do you mean? And I was surprised she was watching the game. She said, well, Tom took a helmet to the chin, and Tom ends up getting a personal foul. And I went back and looked at it, and none of that's going to change the outcome of the game. And, the Bucs got beat fair and square. Hats off to the Rams. But
earlier in the week, you heard what Brady said.
No, about the
earlier in the
preferential
week,
treatment.
he said,
yes.
yeah, I get away with John at the referees maybe a little more than some people do.
Yes.
And he made some comments about how the referees have let him kind of talk trash and do some different things, maybe a little more than some others.
Right.
I have some trivia for you. Who is the quarterback since 2010 that's gotten the most roughing the passer penalties called?
I happen to know this. Called against him. It was Tom Brady.
No, he's number 10.
No, it was not.
No.
Number 10.
Oh, you mean
he's number 10?
Most. I thought
called in his favor with roughing the passer.
Probably, it's got to be somebody. Probably Ben. No? Who?
Matt Ryan.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, I was going to say it's got to be a statue. Speaking of guys who could end up in
No, we don't want that. We don't want that. He's behind Bridgewater.
Whoa, Matt. Matt Ryan's a great quarterback.
I want Kyle Pitts. Will he come?
Let me read to you guys from Gronk. Year 11 in the books. What a ride it's been. Grateful to the Bucs for giving me another opportunity to play another year. To my teammates, thank you for giving everything you had. The sweat we shed and the memories we made will never be forgotten. Thanks to the #crew too. Year 12.
Yes.
Yeah, the question mark.
Right, with a question mark and then some eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's eyeing year 12, guys. And Brady's not going anywhere. I get it. Brady, remember how Brady said, I lie to the media half the time. Blah, blah, blah. All eyes are on Tom Brady as he puts out every tweet with his new brand. Everybody's paying attention to Tom Brady and every little thing that he says and dissecting it. So when he puts out a tweet or an Instagram post about his new brand, everybody's tuning in and watching.
Mm-hmm. Good marketing. Good marketing. I mean, seriously.
Tom Brady's
100%.
not going anywhere for one more year at least.
Yeah, how do you get some buzz? Oh, I might retire.
Right.
Well, right. I was under the impression he was on a third-year option, and he's never not completed a full contract.
No. Here's what happened. He had a 2-year contract initially. After the first year, he extended it to a third.
Well, there you go. So he's committed.
Well, he's not committed. He can retire at any time.
Yeah, he can.
He's not the kind of person that's just going to stop. Not without filling out the paperwork. That's what he's showed all the way through New England. He'd always
not without
play
filling out the paper.
down.
Oh yeah. Oh, not without finishing out a contract. I think retiring is different.
Yeah,
I think. Don't be shocked if he doesn't sign a contract that says he gets paid for the next 10 years, but okay, the Bucs have to pay him $10 million. All right, it's going to be $1 million a year for the next 10 years, but he retires and he's still, I mean, look,
Right.
Get a Bobby Bonilla or Steve Young deal that just goes on and on
Right.
and on for decades, for
perpetuity.
centuries.
right. right.
So
Don't
every
think- I mean,
every year
it's
we
not
can
money,
remind
Matt.
the
It's
world.
nothing to do with that.
No,
I just
but I'll
don't
tell
think
you,
he's got it in his. I don't think he's done yet. I think he was done this year because of all the crap. I mean, there was an awful lot of junk that happened.
Right. This
But
was
I
an
don't think-
exhausting year. And
Yeah.
and I will tell you guys, is as jealous as I am, that's a good looking dude. He aged this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He looked
you could
tired
see
there
it
at the
this
end.
year. Last year when he first came, I thought that guy, I'm like, what the heck is that guy eating? Because he looked, I mean, it was like he looked like he was 15 years younger than he did this year. At the end of this year, it was like, whoa, okay. He's been through a little. It's like the president, when they say the president.
yes,
you
the
know,
president ages like 10 years and 4.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think Tom might have just, probably didn't see the stylist and get that frosting done as much this year. And,
And don't
he's
tell
like
me that
all,
dude doesn't color his hair. Don't tell me that.
oh,
That-
don't, but he's like all of us though, we grow a little facial hair and the age shows because
Yeah.
you can't, you don't color the beard. The beard comes in gray. But I like what Gronk did with the post because, sure, Gronk and Brady were the biggest part, if not, cogs in the wheel, but some of the biggest cogs in the New England Patriot dynasty wheel. And whereas when they came here, don't make no mistake about it, this team Jason Light's been putting together since he drafted Mike Evans in 2014,
Yep.
and
We got to fire him though, Ray.
Yeah.
I'm
We got to
sorry.
fire Jason. Got to fire
Oh yeah,
Jason.
gotta fire Jason
Gotta get
Light.
rid of.
Yeah, they
'Cause-
lost. They lost. They didn't make it back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
With this roster, get rid of Arians.
They lost
Well-
4 more games than 5 more games they ever should have.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
should have been 6 more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
But,
don't
I'll tell you-
tolerate this losing around these parts anymore.
What were
the
you saying,
biggest-
Ray?
No, I was going to say that the thing about it is what they did here, also just as much of important as the cogs in the wheel that Gronk and Brady were here, but they had a little bit more ownership of it because it wasn't Bill Belichick, the mad scientist, even though I think that
Yep.
Bruce Arians is almost every bit as good of a coach as a Bill Belichick in his own respects, different type of philosophy, offensive versus defensive. And Jason Light, I think, is just as good of a, as a builder as like a Scott Pioli was back when he was the GM and putting teams together with New England. But, this was fun for them. This was, they're going out on their terms. They came here and they built the culture here with the team that Jason Light built, with the team that Bruce Arians coached. And, so I think that you look at year 12, and again, I really do just because Tom's production company did the Man in the Arena, he does a lot of stuff. I think, you got one more year. You got to keep them clean. You can't let teams like the Saints with Davenport and Cam Jordan. You can't let teams like, Von Miller and Aaron Donald. You can't let these teams that have these and then let's be honest, they're outstanding defensive line players.
They beat everybody's quarterback up.
Yes, everybody. The first game of the season, New Orleans beat New England 38-3. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, big toe wasn't his only problem. The guy he wasn't immune from getting hit in that game
Right.
and playing bad. But I still, guys, I know it's not going to happen, but man, I'm still keeping one eye on that announcement that Thursday night from the NFL honors. It would make my day almost as much as, winning a Super Bowl would have been the creme de la creme, but I would just love when they announced the NFL MVP for 2021.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I know it's not, Rick, but I just,
Yeah.
the numbers don't lie. He had the numbers and the team to do
He
it.
deserved it. I think
Yes.
he deserved it. Yeah, absolutely. I think he deserved it. But you want to know who honestly deserved it?
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
He was on my fantasy team. We came in second.
Wow.
Cooper Kupp deserved the MVP. Okay, if we're really going to fight about who
I got him in the
deserved
6th
it,
round
yeah,
You got Cooper Kupp in the 6th round?
or 5th. It was
Wow.
way lower
Yeah.
than what it should have
Let's-
been.
That's crazy.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, when it comes to it is what it is. All right, guys. I want to do this little announcement here real quick before we end up shutting this down. How we're going to handle Buck AF during the off season.
Okay.
Buck AF during the off season is this. We're not going to be here every week. All right. Every Tuesday night, you're not going to see us because frankly, sometimes there's no news and pretending like there is, I don't feel like doing it. So we will not be here every week. Now I'll still be around. I'll be on other shows. If people want to do other shows, whatever, I'll hop in, I'll hop out. But as far as Buck AF every week, it's not going to happen. Now, when news breaks, when news happens,
when they sign Bridgewater,
hey,
Dave and I will be here.
We'll be here
we'll be back
with our sources.
When Jameis Winston comes back, back up Tom Brady.
Josh Rosen takes over Blaine Gabbert's spot. That's who he's
we will be back in when there's breaking news. We'll be here when something, when there's a reason to be here, we'll be here. We'll be here for draft talk. We'll be here for all of the news that happens in the free agent signings and the, who's leaving. When Tom Brady announces, we'll be here if it happens on our watch. If it happens on a Tuesday, basically, Dave, Monday, Dave and I will be here. We're not gonna be here every week. It's time to spend a little time with I only have cats, but we
have a 3-month-old puppy. You heard her earlier.
But,
you got to work on that one.
Sometimes it's time for a little break.
Rick, what about maybe, my in-laws have that house over in Maggie Valley there in Carolina. What about instead of you coming down here for the draft party, you get us dialed in at one of those connections at those sports bars that you have there in Charlotte, and maybe I come north and we do a Bucs Report draft party, but we do it from Carolina country just to rub it in a little more.
I can definitely hook us up with that.
That might be a possibility. I tell you what, I can always use an excuse to go to Carolina. Carolina's always on my mind.
Yeah, I can definitely hook us up with that. We shall see how that works. But
yes.
And maybe we could even talk Dave into coming up. There you go.
Oh, that's a party.
I saw that. There you are. What's your cat's name, Matt?
Tramp. See the
Tramp?
nose?
Tramp.
Looks like a little Charlie Chaplin kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was either that or that other guy.
That's funny.
My mind went in a whole different direction with Tramp. Sorry.
That's funny. Matt calls his cat the same.
To be that yet.
Well,
Matt
calls his wife the same thing I call Matt calls his cat the same thing I call my wife. Tramp.
Whoa.
Hello.
That was a little more info than I needed.
That's why he lives outside the bowling alley there in the back.
That's why I live in a dumpster. Yeah.
By the way, Alec, yes, you can join in on that. If Cup of Ray comes up here, we can get Dave up here, or even if we get Matt to mosey over here.
Brevard and the Asheville area, especially.
If I go to the Carolinas, my ex-wife lives there. She'll probably look for me and find me, and it won't be pretty. But
Hey, did you just say your ex-wife's not pretty?
Yes.
No wonder she's an ex.
Yeah, no wonder she's an ex.
No, it took about 13 years to figure out that wasn't the right fit for me, and ever since then, that's been better. But that's too much about me. More about Brady.
I was gonna say maybe Tuesday nights we can have a call-in show for nothing to do with football.
Apparently, we need marriage counseling. I don't know.
Counseling,
Single AF.
Dave.
Yeah, single AF. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for being a part of this all season. Matt, you've been been a regular for all the shows I've been on for almost 2 years now.
Almost.
And, there we go. There's another one
there. She wanted to come up and say hi.
That's awesome. That's awesome. A gay dog in camouflage.
There you go. What could be more redneck?
It's actually cold here in Florida.
Dave has a purse dog in camouflage. Nice. Copper? Is that who was that?
That's Sienna.
Sienna.
Copper's the big brother.
Okay. Okay. I've met
Don't
Copper.
get
I
her
have
too
not
close
met
to the
Sienna.
fireplace
Sienna's
because you'll be
cute.
burnt sienna, and you don't want that.
Yeah, Sienna's cute. Okay. So Matt, I want to thank
Yes.
you, brother. Thank you for being a part of this. Tell everybody where they can find you this off
For
season.
now, every
now.
Saturday at 9:00 until we figure out what we're going to do for the off season. We're going to be at the Buck Wild Show at 9:00 Eastern. Me and Teresa Baxter and whoever shows up. It's a part of the Bucs Report. A lot of fan participation. No phone line, but we do bring in people that like to chat, like Alec here, and a couple of his friends, Eric Marino, and those kind of guys. So if you want to just get in and chew the fat, give us a look, and we'll be here this Saturday. It'll be fun.
Awesome. I may hop in on that.
That would be great.
So thank you, Matt. I appreciate you being here, brother. I appreciate you all season, and we will see you soon. We'll be back. Wait till news breaks.
All right, man. You guys have a good night. See you later, Ray, David. Bye.
Take care,
out.
Matt.
Matt. All right, Ray.
Yes.
Brother, you have added so much to this show all season.
Oh.
I really appreciate you coming in here more than you realize. I look
Always a
forward to it.
pleasure.
I
Always
always
a
send you a
pleasure.
link because
Yes.
I mean, every time the show's on, I'm like, hope Ray comes on. So
Oh, brother,
I mean, I
thank you.
appreciate the fact that you made it here tonight.
Yeah, well, I was late. Yeah, I was a little late. UPS
You
was a
made
little
it.
strong tonight, but thank you. Yeah, made it. I knew I could, brother. But as far as if you're going to ask me where people can find me, I am actually going to still do Cup of Ray every Sunday, just because it's a sojourn for the sports savvy soul. And there may not be any Buccaneer news, but there's always going to be my therapy session. So I got a vent, and so I'm always waxing. And that's the thing about the Cup of Ray. I kind of do it from an historical standpoint. So
Wait, you're getting waxed?
Hello. Brazilian.
Turn this thing off.
Brazilian. Now, is that more than a trillion, or how does that? But anyway,
that's just I'm getting my bathing suit lines done because Florida, even though it's January, Florida, the summer's coming. So
yeah.
But always on Cup of Ray, always bringing it live, a little after dark, and of course I'll still be writing on Bucs Report and anything to cover. So always find me there. And again, thanks guys for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. I really appreciate you having me.
Appreciate you being here, Ray.
Thanks
a lot.
Ray.
Thank you, brothers. Have a great evening. Have a good evening.
Yep, you too.
You too. Take care.
Dave.
What?
So I want to thank you for joining me in this little venture. It's been what a lot of people don't know. Well, let me say this. I've known Dave since first grade. And literally the last 2 years, I've been begging Dave, come on, man, write articles, be a part of Bucs Report. Come on, man. You can be a part of Bucs Report. Come on. It'd be great. Great. Dave, you want to co-host the show with me? Come on, Dave. I finally wore him down. I think just to shut me up, he decided to come on and do this. And
fine. Careful what you wish for. Here it is.
Here
I am.
I think he's had fun doing it. I know this. I've had fun having you here, Dave. When I did those shows for the first year by myself, it was not nearly as easy or as fun as it has been with you. So I want to thank you for coming and being a part of this.
My pleasure, and thank you for asking me to be a part of. Like I mentioned after the last post game show for the season, it was it's challenged me. I think about football differently. It stretched me, and it got me looking into how these seasons work and how a franchise works. And I've learned a lot. And hopefully I've passed some things on to others as well. So
awesome. Well, one thing we did last year, and who knows, maybe we'll do it again this year. Maybe I can drag Dave along. We'll see. Because I think there's work the next day. But we rung in the league New Year. And we did a whole New Year's thing, and maybe we'll come back for that this year. We'll see. With a look ahead. But guys, you never know when news is going to break, and I promise you, here at Bucs Report, we are always on it. I promise you, Bucs Report's on it. If you're not going to the website bucsreport.com, if you're not getting your news there, follow it on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. Guys, I can tell you honestly, it's, I believe, the best site out there to get the right information, good information.
Hey, they got
Not-
sources.
Well, it's not just stories coming out for the sake of, let's throw anything up against the wall. It's, I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've been ready to break news and the suits up top have put the kibosh on a story and said, no, I don't want you guys talking about that. I don't want you guys getting into that. And it's not for any reason other than this story is not substantiated and we're going to wait. So if you read it on Bucs Report, you can count on it. And that's a tribute to those up above. So want to absolutely, to Bucs Report, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity and giving Dave the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Love doing what we're doing. Little time off doesn't mean we're gone forever. Just means we're gone for a little bit. It's time for a little off season. I don't know about you, but I could take a break. We'll be back soon. And what's amazing is even though last year winning the Super Bowl was the shortest off season, it felt like the longest off season I've ever been through. It was unreal how long it felt like that off season took. So let's look forward to next year. Let's everybody take a little time, take a little breather. Everybody, it's okay. It's all okay. We didn't win it this year. You're not going to win it every year. I don't know if you realize this, but Tom Brady lost the Super Bowl or didn't go to the Super Bowl more years than he did. It seemed like he won it every year or was in it every year, but that wasn't the case.
They pretty much won their division every year, but look at their division. So,
well, we won our division. So,
yeah.
So guys, there's a lot to look forward to, and we'll be here, right here, ready to go through it with you next year. Thank you from me and Dave. Dave, thank you. And you guys have a great one. And I gotta close it out this way. Guys, I gotta close it out this way. And you know that I mean this. Let me look, let me clear the screen here and do this right. All right, here we go. Guys, one more time. Say it with me. Go Bucs. Go Bucs. Go Bucs.